Before we get this started, I'd like to just say that I'm going to try my very best in this video to behave. Well, at least behave a little better than I usually do. Not to say I'm not going to be completely insulting. I don't know what my point is, but I'm going to try to be slightly more civil than usual. Because, fuck it. You're a moron. Let's get started.
This is Dustin Spencer from the Christian Response Initiative. Anyway, this is a list of the same number of questions as Brett Keane asked the Christians, and this is actually from one theist to all atheists, so it is something that I really would love to hear answered. Number one, is there such thing as absolute truth? Now, by absolute, I mean that they're true for every person in every age and can never be untrue. So, if so, what are some absolute truths? And how are they determined absolute? And you know what I mean by absolute, that they're true for everyone. So, is there such thing as absolute truth?
This is a poem by Stephen Crane. Truth, said the traveler, is a rock, a mighty fortress. Often have I been to it, even to its highest tower, from whence the world looks black. Truth, said the traveler, it is a breath, a wind, a shadow, a phantom. Long have I pursued it, but never have I touched the hem of its garment. And I believed the second traveler, for truth was to me a breath, a wind, a shadow, a phantom, and never had I touched the hem of its garment.
Number two, according to naturalists and most atheists, the universe is the only thing that is eternal, all-powerful, and for all practical purposes, unchanging. Specifically matter there when I'm speaking unchanging. And matter can change places, but basically the matter of the universe will never disappear. Do you believe this is the case? You can see where those three descriptions kind of describe most theists' God.
What? I would not attribute any of those things to the universe. Possibly infinity. Possibly. I'm not sure the universe is infinite as far as linear time goes. No one knows that one way or the other. It's ridiculous to claim to. It's open for debate, okay? So that entire question is irrelevant because I don't agree with the precepts that you set it up on.
Number three, according to Ron Carlson in one of his books, he states that it is philosophically impossible to be an atheist. It says to be an atheist, you must have infinite knowledge in order to know absolutely that there is no God. Now, that's a little facetious, I guess, but for instance, if someone was to come up to you and say that God lives behind a massive star out in the universe somewhere, and you can't prove that he doesn't because you can't study that, how do you respond to that questioning? Again, you know, that's not supposed to be derogatory or anything like that. It's just I want to know how you would respond to it.
Okay, atheism is not philosophically impossible. You know, it's really fucking weird because by your own logic, religion is philosophically impossible. You admit that there's no way to know one way or the other. You said that. Those are your words. Yet my position is philosophically impossible because I don't believe in God, whereas your position is philosophically possible because you do believe in God, when you just admitted that it could be either could be true. You said you're a Christian, not an agnostic, yet you're using an agnostic argument. And I'm assuming you're using an argument that was formulated by agnostics. Do you even know what you're talking about, or did you just go and gather up all the cliches out there? Yeah, there is no way for me to sit here and say that there is absolutely 100% unequivocally no God. I cannot possibly make that statement. However, and let's say that I tell you that I am capable of the act of flight, not in an airplane or a helicopter. I mean that I can actually fly. But I'm not going to show you. You just have to take my word for it. What do you think about that? Would you assume that just because it's possible that that's true, that means that it is? I mean, you would say, I'm not going to believe it until I see it. That is the rational stance. It's just, I mean, we understand it's the rational stance in every other sect of our society. Why do you think we have the idea of innocent until proven guilty? We are always skeptical in this culture except for when it comes to religion. When it comes to God, we just say, well, we know until we don't know. When that's the exact opposite of how we should be thinking. It should be, we don't know until we know, and there's no reason to assume so in the meantime. You would never assume anything else without evidence. Why would you assume that?
I've spoken with many atheists who feel persecuted because Christians and other religions believe that atheists can't be morally good people. Here are a couple of challenging questions I think that will deal with that moral goodness kind of thing. What does it mean to be good? Or does it mean to be moral? And do you have any concern for those things? What does it mean to be good or to be moral?
I think that Jesus put it best. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. There's no mention of God in that. There's no one saying, do unto others or God will get vengeance upon your ass. Or there's no thing that says do unto others because you'll get rewards after you die. It says, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. If you show people respect and kindness and courtesy, you will receive that in turn. It's a very simple social system. You ever watch the show Meerkat Manor? Do you think those meerkats have religion? No. Yet they seem to have social networks resembling our own. Obviously less complex because they're not as smart as we are. But you know what? They still have what you could very easily see as something resembling what we do. I mean, every person I ever watched that show with, it's amazing how human they are. No, it's really not amazing because we're social animals tend to behave in specific patterns. And,